The two new glorious mice, which are the Model D2 Pro and the Model O2 Pro, are actually surprisingly amazing, but no mouse is really perfect, so even with these there are some flaws. Quality on the previous glorious mice has been kind of iffy, but at least for the O2 Pro with my two units the quality is pretty much flawless. There is no flex, there is no creaking and there is no rattle. There is some side play on the main mouse buttons, but nothing that would bother me in game. And overall there are no real quality issues with the clicks, although the click feel with these opticals is not the best in my opinion. In game they are light and easy to spam, but they are missing some of that crispiness. And to mention the quality on my Model D2 Pro, there are also no issues with the shell whatsoever, so no flex, no creaking, no rattle. But the left click is very hollow. I noticed the click feel being hollow when I got the mouse, but it has gotten worse in about a week or so that I've had it. And that is obviously not a great thing. The right click in itself feels good, but still these optical switches are not the best in terms of feel. I'm not quite sure about what to feel about the surface of the mouse, as it's not quite plasticky, but it's also not smooth and rubbery like for example Zowie coating. The grip for me is good on this, but it does not feel very premium. The mouse feet then again feel for sure good for me, as the rounding is well done and there are no issues for me even with rougher surfaces. The performance is also good, as the click latency is low at 4K and 2K and even very good still at 1K. And running the mouse in wired mode gives you about 0.44 milliseconds. Motion latency is also good, as we are seeing the mouse about 0.4 milliseconds faster than the CA13C. One thing I need to mention about the motion latency tests is that with 8000 Hz and wired mode I could not really get proper results, and that is partly due to my system not handling 8000 Hz that well at the moment. So I will not be giving you guys any rounded results, but the ballpark value that I'm sort of getting is around 0.7 to 0.8 milliseconds faster than CA13C. And one other thing I want to mention is that with wired and wireless mode and running the mouse at 4000 Hz, the polling stability is still not the best, although it's not something that would ruin your experience in-game. The battery life is mentioned to be 35 hours at 4K, which is a little bit more than most other 4K mice. It's quite hard to confirm and test, but I would say that if you want high battery life, do not get a 4K mouse. The pricing is decent, but of course not very cheap, as the 4K version costs about $130 and the 1K version costs $100. One of the final things to talk about is going to be the shape, and that is not very exciting with these two mice, as these are very old models. The Model O has been a very popular mouse for a long time with its flat shape, and even I've talked about the shape, for example, at least in 2 videos. And there are multiple other ones if you want to take a look at. But the more interesting shape for me is going to be the D2 or the Model D shape. I've actually never used this one before. I was expecting it to be quite large since I tried the Model D-, but to my surprise it's actually not that bad or not too large at all. I'm positively surprised by it. It does not feel even that large compared to the Razer Death Adder V3 Pro. Feels very familiar for you guys if you have used the EC2 or the EC1. It's actually very close in size to the EC2, but it does feel a little bit different in hand. And especially due to the weight being very low for an ergonomic mouse at this size, it feels very good in game. Compared to the Vaxi Outset AX and the Zowie EC2, it does fall short for me, as those two are basically my most favorite ergonomic mice on the market at the moment. But I would still say that it's pretty impressive for me. The main downside which makes me not use this mouse after this review process is going to be the left click, so that is disappointing for me. Again, this is most likely just my unit. Hopefully you guys do not have this issue when you actually buy the mouse. Otherwise, I'm very much positively surprised by the D2 especially. Even the weight is really good at 63 grams for the D2 Pro and 58 grams for the O2 Pro. And I guess that's pretty much it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.